Freedom is neither a reaction nor a choice. It is an illusion to believe that we are free merely because we can choose. Jiddu Krishnamurti invites us to reflect. Do you really have control over your life? Are your decisions truly yours, or are they shaped by invisible forces surrounding you? The idea of free will is widely considered a fundamental human right, but what if all of this is nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion? Theosophy and Gupta Vidya teach that we live under the rule of Maya, the great illusion. What we call reality is nothing more than a reflection projected by higher layers of existence. We believe we are in control of our lives, but in truth, we are moved by forces we do not understand, like pieces in a cosmic game. What seems like a choice may simply be the result of internal impulses, subconscious patterns, and karmic laws acting without our awareness. If you were born into a certain family, culture, or social class, was it truly your choice, or were past actions what placed you in this exact position? Helena Blavatsky, in The Secret Doctrine, teaches that man is his own karma, his own judge, and the executor of his own sentence. He makes and unmakes himself. This means that everything we do now has already been conditioned by what we have done before, whether in this life or past lives. But if the laws of karma shape our journey, where is freedom? Are our decisions independent, or are we merely following paths laid out by what we have already sown? The human mind operates within a labyrinth of invisible influences. From childhood, we are programmed by our parents, society, religion, culture, and even by stimuli we do not perceive. What we believe to be a spontaneous thought may, in fact, be just the result of a long chain of conditioning. Eckhart Tolle warns that the conditioned mind merely repeats predetermined patterns. We think we are making free decisions, but in reality, we are only reacting to a sequence of programmed impulses. Science also challenges the concept of free will. Neuroscience experiments have demonstrated that the brain makes decisions even before a person is consciously aware of them. In other words, when you believe you are making a choice, your brain has already determined that action milliseconds earlier. This reinforces the idea that so-called free will may be just an illusion created by the mind to maintain the sensation of control. If what we call freedom is merely a game of shadows, is there a way to break free? Yes, but this freedom is not about making choices within the illusory system. It is about transcending the system itself. This is how most people live. They believe they are making decisions, but in truth, they are merely following the path carved by karma and external forces. However, there is something beyond this river. The ocean. The ocean is not controlled by a single course because it is vast, immense, and infinite. The ocean represents awakened consciousness, the mind freed from the shackles of ego and destiny. One who becomes the ocean is no longer limited by the riverbanks. One who awakens to this reality no longer needs to struggle to choose because they understand that choice itself is an illusion. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us, he who knows the supreme truth sees action in inaction and inaction in action. He is wise among men. This means that one who understands reality perceives that even when it seems they are acting, they are in fact merely flowing with a greater will, and even when they appear to do nothing, they are allowing the truth to manifest through them. The wisdom masters have always taught that true freedom does not lie in having more options, but in silencing the ego and allowing the higher self to guide existence. To transcend the system means to understand that as long as we are identified with the common mind, we will be trapped in the illusion of choice. The ego believes it chooses, but in reality, it only reacts. Everything we think is a free decision is, in fact, a conditioned reflection of the environment, desires, and karmic tendencies. Imagine a river. Its waters flow along a predefined path, following the course carved by time and natural forces. The river has no real choice. There may be small variations in the flow, stronger at some points and weaker at others, but it will always follow the trajectory given to it. But how can we escape this illusion? How can we break the cycle of conditioning? The answer lies in self-knowledge. One who observes their own thoughts, questions their own motivations, and distances themselves from mental agitation begins to realize that everything they once called I was merely a set of learned patterns. Their mind is not theirs. Their desires are not theirs. Their emotions have been implanted by centuries of conditioning. And then, silence arises, a deep silence where true freedom manifests. Spiritual masters of all traditions have spoken about this silence. Buddha taught that liberation from suffering comes from understanding that there is no separate I, only a continuous flow of causes and effects. Lao Tzu said that the wise act without acting, allowing the Tao to guide them. Jesus taught that one must abandon their own will to follow the will of the Father. In all these traditions, true freedom does not come from choice, but from surrender. True liberation, then, is not in the ability to choose between paths, but in realizing that the very concept of choice is part of the illusion. To awaken is to step out of the river and merge with the ocean, to stop resisting and flow with the deeper truth of existence. When the ego ceases to struggle, when the mind quiets, and when we no longer feel the desperate need to control, a profound peace arises. It is in this state that true freedom is found, not in reacting to life, but in transcending it. Eckhart Tolle warns that the conditioned mind merely repeats predetermined patterns. We think we are making free decisions, but in reality, we are only reacting to a sequence of programmed impulses. Science also challenges the concept of free will. Neuroscience experiments have demonstrated that the brain makes decisions even before a person is consciously aware of them. In other words, when you believe you are making a choice, your brain has already determined that action milliseconds earlier. This reinforces the idea that so-called free will may be just an illusion created by the mind to maintain the sensation of control. If what we call freedom is merely a game of shadows, is there a way to break free? Yes, but this freedom is not about making choices within the illusory system. It is about transcending the system itself.